Right now, the world is on fire. America is locked in the Middle East. Russia is stuck in Ukraine. China is watching Taiwan. And Pakistan is dealing with its own crisis. But in the middle of all this chaos, India just held a high-level defense meeting. No big announcement, no clear explanation. And then this happened.
उनका प्रभाव लंबे समय तक बने रहने की आशंका है। इसलिए हमें तैयार रहना होगा, हमें एकजुट रहना होगा।
Prepared for what? That's the question no one is answering. Because if you connect the signals, the timing, the silence, there is one place that keeps coming back into focus. POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. But the real question is India preparing to take POK now? Or are we just reading too much into the signals? POK, or Pakistan occupied Kashmir, is not just a land. For India, it's unfinished history. A part of Kashmir that India claims but Pakistan controls. It was separated after 1947 conflict, and since then it has remained one of the most sensitive borders in the world. But today, this is not just a territorial issue. POK sits at a critical location, affecting border security, military positioning, and regional control. It connects Pakistan to China through key routes like China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which means control over POK is not just symbolic. It directly impacts the balance of power in the region. And for decades, India has said the same thing. POK belongs to India. So if that claim is not new, why does it suddenly feel different right now? So what's changing right now? Look at what's happening inside India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is holding high-level meetings. Chief ministers are being briefed. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval is reviewing all the situation. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh is in continuous defense discussion. And recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a statement. He said that India must be ready for situations similar to COVID-like emergencies, a situation where normal life can change overnight. Prepared for what? A crisis or something much bigger? The government says, stay prepared, don't panic. But when the government say that, what are they really seeing? And it's not just political signals. Even the markets are reacting. There is a pattern experts have noticed. When the world becomes unstable, money moves out of risky places and into something safer. That safe place is gold. Because gold holds value, even when everything feels uncertain. And right now, gold prices are rising again. Not because something has already happened, but because people think something might. Now this doesn't prove anything yet, but it tells you something important. The world is getting nervous. And when market gets nervous, it usually means someone, somewhere, knows more than we do. Now, gold won't tell us if India will move on POK, but it tells us this. When India-Pakistan tension rise, money moves to safety. And when money moves, the world starts watching this region very closely. So the real question is, what exactly is happening that's making both markets and government react at the same time? Because if markets are reacting, then something must be already happening behind the scenes. And inside India, things are tightening. Security agencies are actively cracking down on networks linked to ISI. There have been arrests, foreign nationals, including Ukrainian citizens and even a US national. Now officially, nothing has been confirmed, but reports suggest possible intelligence links, which raises a serious question. What are they doing here? And why now? At the same time, Action is also being taken against operatives linked to groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba. This is not random, because when multiple networks are being targeted at the same time, it usually means agencies are seeing a pattern that public hasn't fully been told yet, which raises a bigger question. Is this just an internal security, or is it connected to something much larger building outside India? Because outside India, the situation is already heating up. The US is active in Middle East. Iran tensions are rising. Israel is striking. Russia is locked in Ukraine. China is watching Taiwan. So when the world is distracted like this, does it create an opportunity? Now, look at Pakistan, a country under pressure, struggling with loans, economic stress, and internal instability. And when pressure builds inside Pakistan, it often shifts attention outward. And most of the time, that means India. But this time, the situation is more complicated, because Pakistan is not just dealing with India. It is also caught between bigger powers, acting like a middle player between the United States and the tensions linked to Iran. And then the Saudi angle. Pakistan has long-standing defense ties with Saudi Arabia, where in serious conflict situation, military support may be expected. And right now, there are reports of rising tension and possible strikes involving Iran and Saudi Arabia. If that situation escalates, Pakistan may be pulled in, which raises a very serious question. Can Pakistan stay focused on India while handling pressure from the Middle East? And if Pakistan's focus is divided, what is India doing in the middle of all this? Because while all this is happening, India is not standing still. India has cleared a massive defense push worth over 2.38 lakh crores. This is not a routine spending. This is one of the biggest defense approval in recent years. And the timing matters. It's happening at a moment when global tensions are rising and uncertainty is increasing across regions. This includes advanced defense system, missile upgrades, and protection against aerial threats. Systems like the S-400 designed to detect and destroy incoming threats from long distance, which tells you one thing: this is not just about attacking. This is about preparing to defend at a very high level. But the bigger shift is this: the nature of war itself is changing. Look at recent conflicts, especially in the Middle East. Drones are everywhere, small, hard to detect, and capable of hitting targets with precision, from surveillance to direct strikes. This is the new battlefield. And that's exactly where India is focusing now. India is investing in modern warfare, especially drones, because the next war may not begin with fighter jets, but with something much smaller, much quieter, and much harder to stop. And then Jaisalmer, a city right on the India-Pakistan border. Sirens suddenly rang across the city. People were confused. Later clarified, this was a planned drill, a high-tech alert system tested across multiple locations, designed to warn people in case of emergencies. So yes, it was a drill, but this was not just any city. This is a border city. So the real question is, why test something like this right now? Because drills are never just drills. They are rehearsals for something that might be coming. So now, we come back to where we started. Prepared for what? Is India really preparing to take POK? Or are we just connecting dots that don't fully exist? Because when you look at everything together, the signals inside India, the tensions outside, the movements in market, the pressure on Pakistan, this doesn't feel random. It feels connected. But the truth is, we still don't know how far this will go. And maybe the bigger question is, if something does happen, will the world even see it coming? If you found this breakdown useful, please hit the like button. Tell us in the comments, do you think this is just a preparation or something much bigger? And if you want to understand what's really happening in the world, subscribe to ThinkTell, because you think and we tell.